welcome to the week 6 of the 2018 General Legislative Session. I am Senator Jake Anderegg. Welcome to Jake's Views and Reviews. Let's first off start with week 5 in review. We passed several bills of note. One was Senate Bill 108. This is the Raw Milk Amendments Bill. So what this bill allows for is individuals who actually have cows that produce milk. They can sell up to 120 gallons of raw milk without being licensed each month. So that's an interesting bill. It passed out of the Senate. It's going to go over to the House. We'll see if it gets enough steam over in the House to pass. Additionally, we passed Senate Joint Resolution 8. Now, in northern Utah County, this is a pretty important bill because this is the bill that allows for the sale or lease of the developmental center in American Fork and Highland. Now, many of you may not know what the developmental center is, but those of you who do, you'll know that this is an area, a complex that was designated back in the 1920s, and set aside for a complex to house individuals that are medically complex. These would be citizens with malformations, deformities, severe mental incapacity, and now that they're adults, this is a place where they are housed and cared for. Now, there's a whole host, anyone that's been there, there's a whole, hundreds of acres just north of this property there in American Fork and on the borders of Highland. This is right next to Lone Peak High School. All of that open field is owned by the developmental center. Well, the commission that oversees the developmental center has asked for greater latitude to either sell or lease the land to try to get some more money out of it. This bill actually helped set up to make sure that any monies generated from the lease or sale of this land would go into a reserve account to protect that money to go for those kids, those adults. So that joint resolution passed and should be on to the House, and I would imagine will pass over there as well. We also had House Bill 100, and of all the bills I've ever voted on since being a legislator in my last 6 years up here in the Capitol, this is the bill that is, I think, the most important bill I've ever voted on. So this bill is the Medically Complex Child Waiver Bill. Currently in the state, we have about 4,000 citizens who are born with severe medical problems. 150, 200 years ago, most of these citizens would have died within the first couple of months, probably, because they couldn't get proper care. So we currently have about 4,000 of these people. We only have 535 that are currently being covered. And children, most of these children are in such severe way that it's causing severe hardship, financial hardships, divorces in their families just because these kids need constant care. These are situations where there's $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 per month just in medication. So we actually passed an expansion of the child waiver which added just 50 more children. This is a very important bill, and if I never win re-election again, this is a bill I will say I was honored and privileged to vote for. Well, now let's look forward to week 6. Week 6, we've got several very interesting and very controversial bills on tap. We've got Senate Bill 138. This is the Sex Change Amendment Bill, Senator Todd Weiler's bill. This bill is a little misunderstood because currently, back in 1975, the state of Utah authorized for people who go through sex changes to be able to petition to have their birth certificate changed. At that time, though, the legislature never provided any information as to what a judge is supposed to use in order to determine at what point to grant a change of birth certificate due to a sex change. So Senator Todd Weiler is trying to address certain issues that have arisen in the courts where the judges don't feel like they have enough information to be able to determine at what point to grant it. Someone was denied, and now the Utah State Supreme Court is reviewing one of these cases for a petition that was denied. So Senator Weiler is trying to say we need to provide more direction. The problem is what he's trying to do is opening up a Pandora's box because, if you're going from, the continuum of a sincerely held belief that your sex is not what you were born with to I've gone through a full transition and now I'm a transformation, now I'm a different gender because I've had a sex change operation. Somewhere in that continuum is where it might be appropriate to say, okay, at this point you should grant a sex change authorization once change your birth certificate once you've reached this point. Senator Weiler's bill is moreover on, hey, as long as you believe it, then you can go ahead and grant petition versus maybe the Eagle Forum side of it that says, unless you've had a full sex change, you shouldn't. So this one's going to be very complex. I am not in favor of where Senator Weiler is going with this. I'm probably going to vote against the bill. but we'll see. That bill is going to be controversial, and I just wanted to explain my position on it. Additionally, we have Senate Bill 136. This is the UTA Regovernance Restructuring Bill. This is an important one to look at because this is going to actually completely change not only the governance structure at UTA, but also the way that we fund local option sales tax for transit and for roads. So if you want me to get wonky, I can do a video just on that one, and I can explain it all to you, and that might be worth it. But this is an important bill. This is going to totally change this. This is a major policy shift in the state, and it's an important bill that I support. And lastly, we had House Bill 169. This is the Energy Solutions Commercial Waste Fee Amendments. Now, Energy Solutions already is paying full taxes. They, additionally to that, because they deal with nuclear hazardous waste, they also have a reserve fund that they've set up that has about $400 million in it that the state owns and controls. So if Energy Solutions goes out of business, the state will have money to draw on to manage and care for this waste. Within 10 years, that fund should be over $1 billion. But then on top of that, because they have a waste management fee of $1.7 million, they're paying taxes, they're setting money aside for preservation, and they've got this fee, which is an arbitrary fee of $1.7 million. So I voted, and I'm planning on voting in favor of the bill to make sure that they can have this erased. They've already paid it for the last 15, 16, 17 years, and there's no justification for this fee. It's an anti-business fee. I don't understand why it was originally put on, but there you go. Anyhow, that's what we have on tap for week 6. Week 5 was a lot of fun. If you have any questions for me, please reach out to me. You can call me on my cell phone, 801-901-3580. You can shoot me an email at jandereg@le.utah.gov. And as ever, coming from the Utah State Capitol Complex, this is Senator Anderegg saying, see you next time.